What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to the overview. Welcome to James coming through. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me back on the channel. I say good. I sounded.
I was going to say, are you actually good?
No. I just want to. I don't want to lose face in front of your audience too soon. Last time I was on, I was excited for a game at Old Trafford, and we all know how that went. So I'm all right. How are you, mate?
Yeah. I'm all right. Yeah.
I bet you are.
Yeah. Good weekend. Good weekend of football.
Yeah.
Big up to everyone. Apologies for being a little bit late. It's all James's fault. So everyone was coming to me with the, you know what I mean? Everyone was coming at me with pelters and loads of abuse in my own comment section. It's this guy's fault. Yeah,
it is my fault, and I'm still adjusting the camera so I can just look that bit better for you guys. So it's all for look. See, there we go.
Yeah. Yes, no problem, man. We've got a lot to talk about. First of all, obviously, it's biased out here. It's a United channel, so we've got to start with United, and not just the game, but a little bit of transfer talk, a little bit of rumours sort of circling about, and that is that Man United are close to a deal for Boubacar Kamara from Marseille, central midfielder. Also, Ralf Rangnick stalking still Amadou Haidara as well of RB Leipzig. So these two players hotly tipped. David Ornstein's tweeted and jumped in there just a minute ago and sort of said that United are looking at a midfielder. His quote is, Boubacar Kamara of Marseille is under consideration at one of the traditional top 4 Premier League clubs, and Manchester United are also across the situation as they weigh up possibilities to bolster their midfield. So a lot coming in about Kamara news. We'll have to wait and see. We know we need a midfielder. We badly need a midfielder. Marca are reporting it as well. Huge outlet that we're in for him. So let's wait and see. I'm still not convinced until I see bids have gone in and stuff like that. I'm just going to kind of reserve judgment for this. To be honest, we need a midfielder.
We've been in this game long enough, Flex. We've been in it long enough to know
exactly.
Until they're holding the shirt, and even then, sometimes, you know, until then, you're always kind of on alert. But
yeah,
you'll bring someone in. I'm very confident you'll bring in a midfielder.
I don't know. I'm not even confident yet. Like, we need a midfielder massively. We obviously need a midfielder hugely. But I don't know. I can't see us bringing one in. I can't, because I just think they're looking for a new manager in the next couple of weeks. They need to sort out what's going on there. They've got a lot of players potentially outgoing. Martial still looking for a club. Jesse Lingard. Apparently Newcastle have come on strong in the last few hours, and they're doing everything they can to get him on loan to the end of the season. There's just a bit going on, and I don't know if they're going to get that long-term solution in midfield of the guy they actually want, and the new manager isn't here yet. That's why I'm not so sure. Listen, if it happens, great. As long as it's for the right reasons, we need it. But I don't know, man. Like you said, your team's the same. You know what you need. So yours is probably the striker thing at the minute. You know you need one. You're hearing the Vlahovic deal rumors and this and that, and you're just never quite sure of what's really going on. But you know what you need. And Man United definitely need a central midfielder. So that's your latest on that. Apparently, Manchester United are working on Boubacar Kamara of Marseille. And we have to wait and see what's happening there. RI18 says, Flex, I don't think we'll bring in anyone because our board is crap. And Adam Sarr says, United won't bring in anyone. They will feel they can cope until summer. They didn't even want to bring Bruno in January. Injuries forced the hand. I do remember when that happened. So I get what people are saying. I do get what people are saying, because that's what I mean. There's a lot to sort out at Man United. Are they going to try and just go for a left field midfielder? Well, I say left midfield, not actual left midfield. a left option out of the blue, or do they stick to kind of saying, look, we'll let the likes of Lingard go because Anthony Elanga's come in and taken his place. That's fine. Martial wanted to go. That's fine. We'll be all right for 4 months until the end of the season. Probably that, but we'll wait and see. But big win for Manchester United, James. Huge win, last minute winner. I bet you and many other rival fans were glued to the radio because it was a 3 p.m. kickoff, so I know you wouldn't have been watching it. With the radio at the ears and hearing the last minute roars at Old Trafford and being absolutely pissed.
I had a Soccer Saturday on while I was cleaning the apartment, so that's how exciting my Saturday got. And it wasn't. It's almost like what Spurs did in the week against Leicester, numbed me to the point where actually then United doing the same, I thought, well, I've had worse than this. But, you know, it was just kind of, it was gut wrench after gut wrench after, you know, setback. And Man United, you know, with a 93rd minute winner. When I watched it, I couldn't believe how open West Ham were for the goal. But that's what happens when you've got quality on the pitch, when you believe. And I know it's such a cliche, but, you know, you fight to the end. You keep going. You bring on more strikers. You roll the dice, and you've always got a chance. And United won it. I will say this. I think because we had the game in hand on you, and actually kind of still do, it wasn't as heartbreaking. I thought, you know what? The thing with United, they've got the Champions League to come, and either way, as long as one of them takes points off, you know, the other with West Ham and United, I didn't really mind. But in hindsight, that point would have been lovely.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect result, really.
But what a great week for you guys. Can I just say,
massive,
I mean, winning at Brentford 1 and then beating one of your top 4 rivals. I mean, what a week.
It was a perfect week. And then, you know, seeing Tottenham get beat as well helped. I would have preferred a draw with that, but it helps. And then obviously seeing you guys slip up as well. And then we beat West Ham. So it was the perfect weekend as far as Manchester United are concerned. But there's been weekends where you've had those type of weekends where you've won your game. You've seen us lose at home to Wolves or something, or draw 2-2 against Villa while you beat someone else. Well, that wasn't, well, this year you haven't won. But in terms of the lead up to this, there's been weekends, and I'm sure there'll be so much more. Like you said, if you look at the Premier League table now, you know, we're on 38 points, played 22. West Ham are on 37 points and played 23. And you're a game behind us, but you're only on 36 points. You're only 2 points behind us. So you win that game in hand, you'll be a point ahead of us. Big if, but, you know, it's still there. And Tottenham still have 2 games in hand, and they're on 36 points. So joint with you, and have to play you as well. So there's a lot. And then, you know, I just think there's going to be so much twists and turns. In terms of West Ham, though, do you think... I mean, I spoke to Nicky after the game. Obviously, you know Nicky well. We all do. He was like, "Yeah, he sees they're pretty much done now in terms of flirting with that 4th spot. They're going to enjoy the Europa League and hopefully finish as high as they can." Do you see it that way for West Ham? They had a good run, or do you think they can push again?
The thing about every side in this top 4 race, I'm looking at United, West Ham, Arsenal, Spurs, and even Wolves I put in there. I do think Chelsea is still a level above. They're all having moments that look like season enders, and then go on and maybe put 2 or 3 in the bounce. I mean, West Ham lost at home to Southampton 3-2, and I thought, there we go. That's the wheels have come off. Then they win their next 3, scoring goals for fun, and then they lose at home to Leeds, and they lose in the 93rd minute to United, and those feel like hammer blows. Those are tough results to take. But do I write off West Ham? Absolutely not, because I think they've got a lot of talent in the team. You know, Jared Bowen, Lanzini, Fornal, Declan Rice, Souček. I mean, yeah, most of them will probably start for Arsenal. They're good players. They're really good players. And so, yeah, I don't rule them out. I just think having played those couple games extra on everyone else, having you know, Europa League football, and they'll feel they can really win that. That's their best route, I think, now to the Champions League. I do think they'll start to just fall away slightly. But, you know, and I don't mean to sound condescending in any way, shape or form. Even if West Ham gets 7th and they're in the mix, that's a good season.
100%. Exactly.
So they've set a different, with beating Liverpool and Chelsea at home, they probably set a different standard. But, yeah, I won't write them off.
Yeah, I think write them off at your peril, as they say. Yeah, so going forward, let's talk about your team. Let's talk about Arsenal. Someone said there, Wolves look at, you know, Wolves looking solid. Bruno Lage, top manager, said 100%. We'll talk about Wolves in a little bit. And someone said, well, Adam says, James, are you worried about Wolves? You could be 8th if they beat you. Yeah, exactly. So we will get to Wolves, but on Arsenal, I looked at that Burnley game, and I'm not going to lie. I know Arsenal have been, you know, characteristically Arsenal this year, doing a lot of Arsenal things. But I thought they'll beat Burnley at home, though. You know, Burnley haven't played in a while. They are poor. They did come to Old Trafford, and actually, when Sean Dyche left the game, I did agree with him. He goes, actually, we've lost here 3-1, 3-0 down at half time, but didn't actually play that bad. And they didn't. Yeah. We just had some moments of class, McTominay and Ronaldo, and can't remember who else scored the third goal, can't remember. But yeah, there's some moments of class, and then they were just 3-0 down, just like that. But it didn't actually play that bad. But you guys, the struggle continues. No goals, can't score. Midfielders not present. What's going on, man?
What's going on? I think January's obviously been a bad month, but it's made worse by the red cards and the players missing. It's made worse by the lack of transfer activity, the letting Maitland-Niles go. All these things have kind of added to how bad January's been. But in reality, the results and performance still haven't been great. But you can look at a very good performance against City and how unfortunate we were that day. You can look at a really good result at Anfield. Yes, we didn't get through, and people say it doesn't mean anything, but still, for those young players to come through 90 minutes at Anfield, and not lose is something for them as well. Forest, young midfield players missing, really bad day. Liverpool come to the Emirates and do what they do. People were surprised we didn't beat them. I'm not. I mean, just because they were missing Mane and Salah, they're not suddenly a bad team. And then yesterday again, if Lacazette takes his chance,
he's got to score that, hasn't he, James? He's got to score it.
It's a really poor miss. But then you're looking at Arteta. Why are we creating one, maybe two big chances a game? So it's not all doom and gloom. I'm looking at the table, and as you said, 2 points off fourth with a game in hand, 1 point off fifth with 2 games in hand. Then you're talking about Spurs. Points on the board. That's what Arsenal did in December. I'd rather points on the board. But what it does, it adds context to the fact that last night there was outrage and top four's over. And listen, I was feeling really frustrated, but more because Arsenal didn't give themselves the best chance at a good January because of our transfer business and because of the needless red cards. That's what frustrates me. I didn't think it was season over yesterday, but we've made it tough, and you can't not beat your Burnleys. They're going to happen. United are now fourth. You lost to Wolves at home the other day.
Yeah.
These things are going to happen. Spurs have kind of been putting wins on the board, but haven't really convinced anyone.
No.
I think Leicester was their best performance, and to be fair, deserved to win it, even though they scored 2 in the 95th and 7th minute. Look, season's not over, but it's a big couple of days now towards the end of the window, because what United and Spurs have over Arsenal is match winners. You look at that Steven Bergwijn winner in the 97th minute. It's kind of, it's hit the post, it's trickled over, it feels quite lucky. Tielemans loses the ball, but look at Harry Kane's weight of pass.
Yeah,
that's world class, and it kind of goes under the radar, but it's brilliant. Marcus Rashford comes on against Brentford and just top corner. And he's not been having a great season, but he's got that in it. Martial, Cavani, Rashford combining for the win. That is genuine quality on the pitch, whether they're in great form or not. We know they've got it in them. And for all Arsenal's, bright young stars, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, I like them all. Smith Rowe's got some goals in him. They don't have that moment from nothing. You know what I mean? Because they're young and they might develop it. Ziyech yesterday puts in the top corner out of nothing. So that's where I fear for Arsenal. I don't think we've got the ability to win games we shouldn't. And that's why, unless we're pretty flawless between now and the end of the season, we won't get top 4.
Yeah, I do see what you mean. I think there's a lot that Arteta needs to fix in a short space of time. Like I've seen with a lot of the Arsenal fans, it's gone back to, look, listen, just bring back Aubameyang. It can't be any worse than bringing on
really
Nketiah. But from my outsider looking in and how Arteta's been moving, I can't see him, what do they say, cutting his nose off to spite his face. Well, I think he will do that, actually, in terms of not bringing him back. I don't think he does a U-turn and gives in to, Nketiah not being quite there, Lacazette not scoring enough. But you've got to get a striker. You've got to. Like, I don't know. I feel like when I look at Lacazette, he spends so much time not up front to me. And I know he's decent at dropping off the front and he wants to lead by example and do everything. I think he's probably too knackered once he's actually in the positions. If I'm Mikel Arteta, I'm saying, clear off. I don't need you in here doing this. I get it. You're not the best in central midfield / the 10. So it's like Laka takes that upon himself, it looks like to me. Just stay up front, make runs, play on the last man, make runs. You're still quick enough to do that, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's lightning quick, he's not, but he can still got half a yard pace and can turn. He's a clever player. So I would like to see him more just stay within the width of the 18 while we're going through this patch. And those kind of little tap-in chances will probably come more often. And you won't be knackered when the ball gets there.
We don't help him. It's almost like someone said the other day that Liverpool play percentage football. And I thought that's so true. You know, they kind of, they'll put the ball where they're more likely to do damage.
I say that all the time about City. All the time. It's so simple, but that's just it. They just play like I said it when we got battered by City. I watched Gabriel Jesus. There's so many times he pulled out onto the right hand side and got onto Luke Shaw. Right, just an observation where he could have gone at him one-on-one every time. No, I'm just going to pass it to someone in a better position and clear off. That's the percentage football because it's like a 50-50 whether you get past him or not. You pass it to someone else and move, you probably get a 70-30.
That's exactly it. And if you're even talking about it positionally, you know, Arsenal play with the front three of Martinelli, Saka, Lacazette, which sounds exciting. Only we're asking Lacazette to drop into midfield, and then we're asking Martinelli and Saka to hug the touchlines. So 3 of our best goal threats are miles from goal. You know, and that's the reality. Their starting positions are miles from goal. Sometimes we play like a rugby team. We've got to give the ball, and then we have to work our way. Like the player has to work their way forward before they inevitably pass it back.
Arsenal out here doing Six Nations. Is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly. And then we like to finish it off with a 2-pointer over the bar. It's little things like that. And shameless plug here, but we talked about it on the Tactical Insight show, me and Graham, which is coming out in a couple of hours on AFTV. But, you know, why not help Lacazette by just asking him to be up front, ask a question of the centre-backs, and then put a couple nippy players at Saka, Martinelli, that they've got a good close control, they've got a good touch, they've got a drive and space in behind. I don't know. I wonder why, but I mean, listen, I always go back to what do I know? You know, Arteta must be thinking these things. There's clearly a bigger plan at play. There are times where I've been frustrated, and then when it does click, you get a really good performance against City. You know, you go, I get it. I get why.
There's something there we can be building,
absolutely. But when it doesn't, and you're getting to the 75th minute, 0-0 against Burnley, you've got to try something else. So, look at a poor result, a poor performance. But, you know, Arteta's lucky because he's now not got a game for 18 days. He's going to take them to Dubai. They're going to have a nice warm weather.
Everyone's in Dubai. Our players are in Dubai. Newcastle, I think, are out there. Or Saudi Arabia.
We go to Dubai, shall we?
Let's head out there, man. Let's do a bit of trading. Everyone's there.
Why not? Thank you very much. By the way. Thank you.
Shikar says, big up, James. I'm a Manchester United fan, but I love the content with which AFTV does. Big up to both of you boys. Big up, man. Appreciate that. A lot of love there shown. Okay. And on Burnley, actually, you know, they showed a lot of fight against you. They do what Burnley do, which is look for balls into the area and make it really, really difficult in the air. They will defend well, and anything that's in the air is usually meat and drink for them. And I saw that you guys are putting in a hell of a lot of crosses, and likes of Ben Mee and Tarkowski were just having a field day. But do you think they can stay up, or is this the end for Sean Dyche?
Is this the fight?
Is this the one? Because he always manages to escape. Yeah.
Well, when we say points in hand points on the board over games in hand, I think that's very true of the bottom sides, because with all due respect, they can't really rely on themselves to go 3 games in hand. Well, that's 9 points.
Yeah.
So you know, that is a concern. You know, 12 points. That's not good. That's not good. One win in 18.
Very bad.
The thing I'll say for Burnley is I think they've been there and done it in terms of staying in the league. And actually, where I'll give them a lot of credit is they do. Yesterday, right? You could say they parked the bus, and they do have a way of creating chances. You know, kind of, even though they're 2 banks of 4, and they do have a way of getting shots at goal and testing.
They do.
God, there's always in a weird way, you come away from it going, well, at least we didn't lose, because we could have lost. You know, so I think I do actually think this is the end. I do think they'll go down, but I do look at Burnley and think. Yeah, I never write them off. But then who am I writing off? Because now Norwich have put some wins on the board. Sure, we'll talk about them. But
and everybody wrote them off completely. I know they've you talk about they've more got the points on the board, and like you said, the games in hand. The teams below them all got games in hand over them, but the points are on the board and they're out of the bottom 3. Sometimes that's a psychologically massive thing. So, okay, that's what you think about the Burnley situation. want to talk about Liverpool. Is the title race back on then? Because they are, what is it, 9 points behind them with a game in hand. They have to play at the Etihad. And if you ask a Liverpool fan, you know, are they entitled to believe?
Yeah. And yeah, because if there's one manager in the Premier League who will keep them believing, it's Jurgen Klopp. Absolutely. I mean, you think of the mental resilience that side had, you know, to keep up with City, finish second on 98 points, was it? I mean, or 90, I mean, how heart-wrenching is that? They did. Listen, I know you're a United fan, and I don't love Liverpool, but they deserve a title for that. And then to follow and win the Champions League and follow it up with, you know, the title the year after. And don't forget back-to-back Champions Leagues. They've shown the Champions League final. They've shown a longevity to it. You know, they've shown an ability to do it over multiple seasons, and cast Liverpool fans' minds back to the year City did beat them. By that point, I think they were 7 points ahead of them in January.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
they had to win at West Ham. They dropped points, and suddenly City had hope. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe Liverpool have had their. Maybe this is their moment. Maybe this is their chance to start clawing back and be the chasers again. I think City are too good, but I've been waiting for a slip up. There's always one. There's always a moment.
When they get one, and I hate talking about them every week because they're just too good. But
this must be painful for you.
What happened? Oh, it's awful. It's horrendous.
Yeah.
But what they do is when they get that little kick up the arse, it's not even always a loss. Sometimes it's like a draw, like what we just saw at Southampton. They just get back to business. They go, right, you know, Pep was bigging it up. Obviously, he knows what he's doing, saying that was their best performance. You know, what he actually said. Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah. But what he actually said was that's their best performance against Southampton. Because Southampton, they actually give them a lot of problems. Like this year, they drew against them. I think last year they beat them as well. Like Southampton's a little bit of a bogey team, but like I feel like they'll just get back to business. Do you know what I mean? They'll go, they you know.
Do you know why? Because he'll tell you that the draw against Southampton was their best performance of the season, and then they'll go win 7-0.
Yeah, and he says,
they'll be frantically on the touchline. Yeah, he's City will probably bounce back. They are mentality monsters as well. You know, them and Liverpool are unbelievable mentally. It's not just what they do on the ball, because Chelsea have talent, United have talent. You know, the difference is.
Well, Man City's next game is Brentford at home. And no disrespect to Brentford, you know, they're really struggling right now. And Liverpool's next game is Leicester at home. And, well, Leicester are quite poor right now, to be fair. But, you know, you can see City getting back to winning ways pretty quickly is what I mean.
Yeah, some of those Liverpool results as well, where they did.
Dodgy, mate. They're dodgy. Liverpool for me, they're not playing that good. Like, Palace, I know you coulda, woulda, shoulda. I get it, because I've been in the same position before. You know, when Brentford should have been 3-0 up against us in the first half, but wasn't. I get it. They play such a high line. Van Dijk, I'm seeing running back to his own goal half the time. We all laud him, as everyone's saying. I just think Van Dijk is quality, but he's not as good as people actually think he is. He could turn in like a bus yesterday. I watched him literally loads, but no one speaks about it because it's Van Dijk. Literally, ball played in behind him, didn't know what was going on, slow to turn and react. And they have such an arrogance about them, which is, I get it, because that's why they play like that. They play so high up to condense the pitch and win it back in the opposition third / the midfield. I get it. But all you got to do against Liverpool is put balls in behind. There's so much joy. Teams do it to them all the time. They do it to them all the time. Whereas City, they're just polished. They are polished. You know what I mean? But I see little gaps in their game that I just think they're getting away with at the moment. And that's why I don't think they will supersede Man City. Great team. Yeah, great manager in Klopp. They're doing great stuff. Ali A says Flex is salty. Must be a Liverpool fan. But I'm just saying what I see. Do you know what I'm saying? And I saw Palace get at them time and time again yesterday.
I agree, and I think you're spot on about Van Dijk. Like, you know, it's one of those where it's like when Arsenal fans say, actually, I shouldn't say this because this is a bad comparison. People will get on to me. I was going to use the Thomas Partey example, where sometimes we say Partey's had a poor game, and it's actually he's not had a poor game just by his standard. This is an insight from an Arsenal perspective, whereas Granit Xhaka could have played the same 90 minutes. We'd be saying they had a really good game. With Van Dijk, he's clearly still an incredibly talented centre back, but no doubt that the knee injury has played a part, or he's just going through some bad form. But
Absolutely.
He'll also have the intelligence and the experience to adapt his game a little bit. Maybe he won't fancy the one-on-ones as much, but he'll press better and he'll win his headers and he'll defend better in a deep block. Martinelli, turned him a couple times over those 2 legs.
Yeah, and if I tell you what, in that game, if Fabinho didn't come save his ass, he would have been a meme the next day. Van Dijk.
Yeah, he would have.
He got absolutely skinned.
He did get skinned. You're right. Yeah. You're right. So yeah, but he's still brilliant.
Oh, listen, he is a top defender. But when I hear some people say he's the best ever in the league and all this stuff, no, he's not. He's not. For me, anyway. Flex, what do you think about the Jota penalty incident? I mean, let's quickly go over just that and just the decisions in general of what's going on in our game, James, because I'm pretty sure you'd agree. It's getting stupid now. It's getting stupid. I mean, what did you make of it?
There's only so much I can talk about refereeing and VAR and officiating, and it's a joke in this league. It's an absolute joke. Can either go into the fact that we don't have foreign refs and all that, but I mean, then you're really setting me off on a tangent. How that is still the way it's run, I'll never know. But let's talk purely decisions. I can understand sometimes why certain decisions are made. I can kind of but so often they go the way of the minority view that you think, really? I'll give you an example, right? And again, I'll start with the Arsenal one and come to the Jota and then the Thiago Silva. But let's start with the Arsenal one. The studs into Tierney. Did you see that one, Flex?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I can kind of understand why it's not been given, because they're thinking, he's not exactly gone in high. Tierney's on the ground. He's caught him with his studs. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Tierney was fine. But I can promise you Xhaka gets red for that. I can promise you I've seen Aubameyang got red for that against.
But Doherty done one yesterday. And it was it was a bit of an accident. He done it on Sarr. It was a bit of an accident, but he did catch him. And VAR did look at it. And didn't. Like Marvel says, Doherty should have got on a red as well. But I did look at that and think, I don't think he's meant to hurt him, but it was but why is your left foot there? There was nowhere near the ball.
What's the Southampton City one as well? There was another, was it Ward-Prowse? Was it? There was a high one on a City player as well that I saw wasn't given. You're then talking about... The funny thing is that over just that weekend, they probably weirdly were quite consistent, because none of them
were not giving any.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe we should be grateful for that. I think we probably all agree that they probably all were red. You then look at the Thiago Silva, the push. It feels soft, and I'm an Arsenal fan, but it feels soft. But then they've seen emotion, and I always say don't give the referees a decision to make. But it is a contact sport. There is going to be a little bit of something.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then you look at the Jota one, and the hilarious thing about the Jota one is, I'll say this, do I think it's a little reckless from the keeper? Yeah, because he's not gone and got the ball and he's come flying out. But Jota's kicked the ball off the pitch and gone, all right.
You're already there. Let me come over to you. It's ridiculous.
And whether the referee, it's early morning, man. This is what happens when I'm all over the place. Whether the keeper's gone flying in, that's sure. But you've got to watch that as VAR and go, he's really looked for this. And we can't reward that. We can't reward that. Yeah. So for me, all wrong decisions.
Like Sufjan says there, Jota changed his angle to run into the keeper. He tries to flick it round him, misses the ball, and literally leans in that way to say, right, well, I'll take that contact. And then you can see it in slow-mo, normal time, any angle, reverse angle, side angle, aerial view, whatever, bird's eye view, don't matter. You can see what he does. And they still go, listen, mate, because he didn't even give a pen. Then they've gone, listen, mate, go there. And that's another thing that really pisses me off, is that when the refs get told, go to the monitor, they always change it. You never get a ref big enough to stand up to his employers and say, no, I'm right on this and you're wrong. So thanks for telling me to come over here, but you've wasted all of our time. I'm staying with the first decision. You never get it. It's almost like as soon as he goes, oh, yeah, let me go over, it's either going to be a definite red or a definite pen. Always happens.
Flex, I've been calling for 2 years now for a challenge system in football, like in tennis.
Yeah, like in tennis. I said, 100%. I said that too.
The reason I want to have a lot of people ask me, but then people challenge out. I said, it's really simple. Say 2 challenges a half or 3 per match, something like that.
Yeah.
3 challenges. If the decision goes your way, you keep your challenge. If it doesn't, you lose it. But what that will do, you see these goals disallowed. I always cast your mind back. It's a really obscure one. But when City scored a winner against Spurs in the last minute, Gabriel Jesus, and it was disallowed because it scraped Laporte's arm. Now the way a challenge system would clear that up is no Spurs player appealed for a handball. Now, they wouldn't challenge because if the rule is that you have to tell the ref what you're challenging for, what you believe happened, then they can go and look at it. And if they deem Laporte to have touched his arm, then they give it, and that's fine. Because the Spurs player has seen it and has clearly been impacted by that action. Do you get what I mean? If they've not seen it and no one's protesting, then the action clearly wasn't strong enough or important enough to impact ultimately what happened. Exactly. And that's why people are getting frustrated. We're in a situation where we're thinking, what? Like, there was a Chelsea goal against Liverpool chalked off a couple of years ago where Azpilicueta was offside, like 10 passes before.
And he's nowhere near exactly. He's nowhere near the end product. He didn't have any influence on it. And then you look at the Liverpool one where I tell you what, no one even, as soon as it happened, I said it. And then it was like 5 minutes later, Jamie Carragher said, I'm saying, are we just going to ignore that Firmino's offside there and Tariq Mitchell has to come across to mark him going for a ball that he misses and leaves Oxlade-Chamberlain at the back post when actually it should be offside? He's made a clear attempt to get the ball, missed it, which has put Tariq Mitchell out of sort. So he's left him because this guy's in an offside position. It's offside. It's offside. But then they, like you said, they give the ones where the player's nowhere near what's going on. Who scored the other day when I think it was Leeds? Was it Leeds? And their player was almost in the goal.
Against West Ham.
Against West Ham. And I'm like, that was it. It was Klitsch's goal, and it was gonna be 4-2. That would have been. And I was like, come on, he's there. Whether he's there or he's not, he's gonna go in. The keeper can't. No one can get it. But it's a technicality of that he's just there. So yeah, something.
And you know what, Flex? You know what? The offside rule was brought in to stop people cheating, stop getting an advantage by goal hanging in. And that's why it was brought in. It wasn't brought in to ruin the game is going too far. But my point is, some goals you can go, he's offside. He's not impacted whether a goal's being scored here or not. And where I get frustrated is, again, if you had a challenge system, I'd be amazed if a West Ham player went, ref, we'd like to challenge that. He's offside in the goal. And then be like, okay. And then, do you know what? If you spot that, fair play to him, that's the rule, cool. But I'd rather be in a situation where people going, technically it's offside, but we don't want to see that, maybe I don't know, maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe people will find a flaw in my plan. But that's
I think it's a decent idea.
I might take it to 10 Downing Street. I might take it.
If they let you in the party to debate it, see what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, we're going to rattle through the rest of these. Actually, let's pick up the pace on some of these. Then Brentford against Wolves. Brentford struggling right now. I think that might be 6 out of the last 5 they've lost, I believe, potentially, but not doing too well. Wolves quietly going about their business, bro. Wolves are now in 8th place with 34 points. 2 points behind Tottenham. Yes, they've played a game more, but Tottenham aren't tearing up trees right now. And 2 points behind yourselves as well, and have played the same amount of games as you. So, how are you seeing them?
Good side, very good side, with some good players. I know Pedro Neto is not playing at the moment, but real talent. Then you got the likes of Daniel Podence, Moutinho, and Neves, really just lovely midfielders,
Trincao, really good as well.
Yeah, really like Trincao. Semedo looks better. I thought against United he was brilliant.
He was.
And I think Wolves I got a lot of respect for Wolves. Came into the Premier League. Had a real go of it. They've never looked like going down since they've been in it. And you know what? They recognise, with Nuno Espirito Santo, they could easily have played the sentiment card. Well, he got us up, and look what he's done. One bad season, we'll go again. They've acted like a bigger club than our clubs. They've gone, look, Nuno, I think it's run its course. We thank you, and we're going to go up a level now and bring in another manager. I mean, I didn't know a lot about Bruno Lage, but what a great job he's doing.
Yeah, he wasn't highly tipped. Even the Wolves fans were a little bit skeptical. A lot of his jobs have been in as assistant managers and stuff like that in Portugal and that. But look what he's done. Look what he's done in a short space of time, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nature of the top four race, and it's actually been this for quite a few years, ever since the year you guys put together that run in Project Restart and finished third.
Yeah,
I can't believe it, because you guys were not good that year. And it just reminded me, you know what? Whoever finishes third and fourth, really fourth though, they're going to draw and lose a lot of games in the season. It's just the nature of the Premier League now, which is why yesterday wasn't a season-ending result.
You don't have to be great to get it. Fourth is never someone who stamps their authority and pulls clear of fifth. It never happens. We've seen it in the last couple of years as well, with Man United finishing third the year before last, and then obviously second last year. It always happens. But Wolves, I think, do have an outside chance of gate crashing that party. In Brentford, they started off really well in the league and kind of got clear of the relegation zone. And you're thinking, you know what, they should be okay. And I spent some time with some people in Brentford last week, which was really good. But a lot of them were saying, yes, it's been great. But obviously, it's different when you support clubs like that. They're getting worried that they could get sucked into it if they don't get a win or two anytime soon. Because let's face it, this year, with the quality down the bottom being so poor and inconsistent, this could be the lowest points tally to stay up for a long time.
I think
you talk about the 40 points. I don't think you need 40 points to stay up this year. Brentford lying 14th with 23 points, and that Newcastle, who are just inside the bottom three, are on 15 points. But they've played 2 games less than Brentford, who got 23 points. So say they did win 2 games on the bounce, Newcastle, hypothetical, yes. That will put them hot on their heels. So Brentford and Leeds and Everton and Norwich have all got stuff to worry about. But Brentford, do you see them getting pulled into it?
I think they'll have enough. I think they're just a really sensible side. You've got your Trickery and Mbemo, you've got a real presence and a proper striker in Tony. I think they've got a really decent defence. I'd like, if there's any Brentford fans in the chat, I know who watch a lot of Brentford, let me know. I get the impression they play a lot of players. Like, they have a very big squad of players they kind of go through. Start of the season, we didn't see so much of Jensen, and now he's kind of in. Norgard, Vitaly Janel, Onyeko, I know is at AFCON now. A lot of players kind of come in and out. They've got the other guy, I can't remember his name, Wissa. He's come in a bit. They sometimes play a back three. I think most of the time they play a back. I don't know, but my kind of point is they seem to have a lot of players they get through. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just from an outside looking in. I kind of go, oh, he's playing suddenly. Oh, no, he's So maybe they just need to find a little bit of consistency. But I think they'll be all right. I mean, look, 23 points. And that's 1 point less than Palace, and we're saying they're having a good season, and it's 2 points less than Southampton, who are doing fine. I think they'll be all right. Really, I'm looking at Norwich, Newcastle, Watford, and Burnley. I know Everton have been sucked in there. Do you know what? Everton have well and truly been sucked in there. But
that's what I mean. Everton, listen, mate, if they don't get wins quick, I'll tell you what, mate, they could be fighting for their lives, which you never really thought you'd say.
Yeah, I mean, they're a mess. I mean, I've got to say, I was watching them against Villa, and there's half chances here, but they weren't great at all. I just look at some of their players and some of the investment. I mean, I don't know if a club has spent, if you went pound for pound in terms of investment, they're probably the worst in the Premier League for money spent in terms of what they got out of it and the players they've got, and even just the assets, really. I mean, who have they got? Maybe Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are the only ones you think they could probably sell for pretty decent money.
And Luca Digne was probably one decent 25 mil, and he's gone.
Well, there you go. Yeah, actually, 25 mil, to be fair. I know if you're Arsenal, you'd have gone for 12 or 13 because we're But you talk about the lowest points tally. I mean, if you look below Chelsea really, because even Chelsea only 3 defeats, 8 draws in there. But if you look below Chelsea, the amount of clubs that are so low on wins,
it's awful.
it's awful. I mean,
the quality's been really bad this year. I mean, no teams really, apart from obviously City and stuff like that. But
wow,
the rest
I
has just
agree.
been, you know, Chelsea have gone through stages where it's like, really? Do you know what I mean? And we've got 2 games in hand over Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? And we're not far off them at all.
It's staggering. Big Manchester United here, 11 wins out of 22. Half.
Mate.
You've won half your league games. West Ham, who are massive, 11 out of 23. Arsenal, 11 out of 21. Spurs, a little bit better. At least theirs is above 50% win ratio, or so is ours, to be fair. 11 out of 20, but 6 defeats. 6.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And that's what I mean. So to either get top 4, you won't have to be great. To stay up, you won't have to be great. And to even get like a top 6 to get Europa League, you probably won't have to be great. And there's going to be so much more twists and turns. Brentford's next game is Man City. So
yeah,
as you will.
They'll hold 4 there, I think, and then go really that.
Because then after that they've got Palace at home. Let's talk about the next round of fixtures as well as these ones. Chelsea, Tottenham. I mean, Tottenham will fly through these. I mean, the gap is just so big, like between the 2 teams. Conte has played them 3 times now. 3 times, 4 times, 4 times.
Spurs 4 this season, 3 for Conte.
3 for Conte, and you know, not even scored a goal. Absolutely rinsed.
See, this Arsenal match here. Just put it aside for a second here. I talk purely as just a lover of football. I should hate Chelsea, but there's a little part of me that has so much respect for them, and this probably does come from the Arsenal in me. That no matter what form they're in, no matter what form Spurs are in, no matter what the situation, what the context, they just bat Spurs aside. Every single there are moments, Spurs have their day sometimes. But you know, I was seeing Spurs fans yesterday go, I'm so sick of playing Chelsea. And I get it, because 4 times this season, 3 with Antonio Conte, you know, once in a cup competition, you think, well, they're going to want it more than Chelsea. And then this time they've gone in on the back of that Leicester win, and Chelsea on terrible form. Then we can finally do something at the bridge, and Chelsea go, okay, whatever. Every time they just do the business.
They do. Yeah, they do. They do wipe them aside, and then in Chelsea fashion, because they haven't been great. They've got a lot of draws at the bridge, not playing very well. Brighton come back, got a draw against them. Like, you know, they've been playing crap. But like you said, as soon as they come up against Tottenham, even Tottenham fans, I think they just know what will happen. Yeah. Expressions. Just, he was saying the other day, he was like, I just don't want to see Chelsea ever again, he said. Like, they're just, you know, they're happy to see the back of them. So, yeah, can you see Tottenham getting top 4?
Yeah. Sorry.
Because of Conte? Because
of Conte and Kane and Son.
Over Man United, then? Do you think? Actually, who is your favourite for top 4 then? Do you think your team will do it? Do you think Man United, with the players that we got, will probably just about get it? Do you think Spurs will go on a run because they've got the best manager out of the teams chasing for the top 4?
It's a horrible question.
Horrible, awful.
Okay. Let me say this. Of course, I'm going to give you a long-winded answer. You invited James onto the show, so get ready for it. I think Arsenal, if you're looking across the 20 to 23 games played, I think Arsenal have probably been kind of quietly the most impressive in terms of consistency. I know Burnley was a shocker, but more often than not, beaten who they should, lost to who they should as well, technically, and kind of been quite good with the youngsters and played good football. So there's that. We probably played the best football. Yesterday was bad. West Ham have had the most, I think, statement wins, beating Liverpool, beating Chelsea at home. That always tells you they're in with a shout. United, I think, have the best team. Ronaldo, Rashford, Pogba, Bruno, these players, you can't write them off for that. And then Spurs have the best manager. Spurs have Antonio Conte, and he'll play a back 3 and he'll tighten them up. And Kane and Son will play on the counter-attack, enjoy lots of space and all that. And that will always make them a threat. So I think everyone's got their kind of reason for being hopeful. I think United will edge it because of the players. But if Conte can get any degree of consistency out of Spurs, then I'll probably fancy them too. But United, because of the players, and I think Rangnick's a sensible manager. Now he's gone to a 4-2-3-1 and just kept it simple. The 4-2-2-2 was shameful. I mean, what he was doing.
And we wanted to try it. He wanted to try and implement it, and after like 4 games, he was like, "All right, cool."
And he moved on quickly.
He moved on quickly, yeah. And I don't think we'll ever see that again.
So United, unless Spurs get into gear.
I will say I see your reasons of saying Conte's got a shout, but I think that's the exact reason why he won't, because I don't think he will get consistency out of some of them players, because they're just so bad. If you have to keep playing Doherty right wing back, Tanganga right centre back, Sanchez, Dyer, Davies is getting games now. Where's Reguilon was on the bench yesterday, weren't he? I think. How's that happened? How the hell is Ben Davies ahead of Reguilon? That says something about Reguilon. Your midfield, Skip, Ndombele's gone now. Lo Celso's gone now. Dele Alli's gone now. Can't play really. Who else?
Is there a chance?
Højbjerg, average. Well, someone asked me that today. They asked me that today on Sky. Like, if they don't get him what he wants in summer, would he walk? And I don't think he'll walk. So not summer, January. I don't think he'll walk. I just think he'll just get worse and worse, and it would just peter out. He might go at the end of the season, but I don't think he'll go in January. But I said, how weird is it that he's taking this job? You know, he didn't take it in the summer, you know, and when he did take it later on, I was like, what's changed in that time then? They must have given him some big assurances for him to bring his team over now after sacking Nuno, when he didn't take the job in the summer, when they had a short list of about 100 managers and it ended up at Nuno. And I'm like, if they don't give him it now, it's their duty. They've got the best manager to go and win something or go and kick their squad on, and they need to give him what he wants. But that's why I think, yes, Kane, Son, Moura, maybe they might get somebody else as well, get Ndombele out, get another attacker in, but the rest of the squad's too bang average, mate. Too bang average for me. You can't. They will concede shitloads of goals. Like, I can't, honestly. Absolutely shocking. Some of their players so average.
What's a really dangerous mix of ingredients is Conte calling out, you know, that we need improvements, that the squad's not good enough, all that, which he does. Now, Spurs fans are right to be happy that he's doing that. I completely agree.
Levy ain't going to think that.
Not want to marry with lack of signing. Because if he was saying this, but you know what, Adama Traore is about to come in, they've got a centre back on the way and maybe a midfielder, you'd be saying, I can see how that makes Spurs suddenly look a really sensible side who could probably get top 4 and then go again in the summer. But apart from Adama Traore, who's inconsistent himself, you know, you do start wondering, well, so, you know, there's a lot of, you know, he's saying the right things, but, you know, are they going to back him? Now, I think they will. I think they'll panic. They'll hit the panic button, actually getting 2 or 3 players at the end of the window. What I'd say about Conte, a prediction is that he'll get a couple players, he'll get 4th or 5th and actually be inclined to stay on. But I will say that if he were only to even get just 1 player this January, and they kind of continue with this kind of football and linger around 6th to 7th, I could see him going, it ain't worth it. I can't do this.
It's a hard place to work under.
I actually don't think that will happen for Spurs. I will say that for Spurs fans. I'm just a bitter or hopeful Arsenal fan. I don't think that will happen for you, but worth keeping an eye on.
100%. Okay, let's fly through these. Leicester, Brighton, Danny Welbeck, your boy, my boy. You know, popping up late with another header like he done against Chelsea, and snatched a couple of points away from Leicester. Leicester just have they hit like the ceiling then? Is it time for a reshuffle? Is it time for a refreshment thing at Leicester? Or, you know, they've got like Tielemans is coming to the end of his contract, doesn't really want to sign. That might need redressing. And I don't know. Vardy, how longer can he go for? I don't know. Do they just need a bit of freshening up?
Yeah, probably. Look, they're 10th. With games in hand on everyone below them and everyone above and most above them, to be fair. So they could easily be they're on 26. They could easily be on 30 points, and then they're kind of in and around that top 8. Leicester have overachieved the last few years, which is why we're saying this. But really, yeah, they probably should be above Wolves and Brighton, maybe West Ham, but they're kind of not far from where I'd expect Leicester to be more generally. Only Brendan Rodgers is a really good manager and has done really well and overachieved. Certainly with the 2 fifth-place finishes, he's won an FA Cup. Yeah, he probably bottled top 4 with those final games of the season, but
Yeah, he's done it twice as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but that can happen. He did lose to United and Spurs at home. It's not like, it's not a complete disaster.
I was saying that when I was kind of backing Brendan Rodgers as still being a decent manager, and all United fans saying, no, don't ever consider him for United job. He's crap. I was like, yeah, but just because we picked them to top 4, we should. Leicester should never finish above us ever.
Yeah.
I'm not being disrespectful, but with the players that we got in the investment and etc. and our aspirations, there's something wrong if Brendan Rodgers is pipping us to top 4.
Look, he's lost as many games as West Ham, 1 game less than 1 game more than Arsenal, 2 games more than United. They're clearly just lacking something in front of goal. Vardy's missed a lot of games. They've got some games in hand. I think they'll be fine, and they'll probably just hit the reset this summer and probably go, let's freshen it up a little bit. I do think Rodgers is one of those managers who goes a little bit stale. He'll start reverting to back 3s and 3-5-2s and everything. And Rodgers at his best is a 4-2-3-1 with plenty of flair and 2 robust midfielders. And I think Leicester will probably kind of be fine for that top 10. They did beat Liverpool the other day.
Yeah, they did.
He's still got, Arteta's done some good, but he's yet to sort of beat one of the big guns this season. So, that kind of tells you a lot. So,
Rodgers, and Brighton, what's your thoughts on them?
On who? Sorry, Brighton.
Yeah.
God, that came out weird. 4 defeats in 22. That's pretty impressive. They play really good football. I love Graham Potter. If they had players who could finish, they'd probably be doing what Wolves are doing, which would be in and around that. But I like him. I'll say if things don't work out for Arteta and I'm willing to give him the season, I'm really looking at Graham Potter. And I don't know why you guys aren't. I understand that Man United is a massive club and maybe you want someone a little bit more proven. But I think Graham Potter's going to the top.
He's got great. Yeah, and he's really humble in his interviews. He takes all the sort of praise away from himself. He says, look, I'm only doing, it's not really me. I've got a great team here, great team of people behind me. The board allow me to do what I need to do. And it's the play, he's really, really humble with it. And like Kevin Bridge says, Brighton are a really good watch. Graham Potter is a proper manager. When I watched them against Chelsea at the Amex the other day, I know Chelsea went 1-0 up and the keeper was questionable in that Ziyech shot. But some of the football they were playing, it was just eye-catching. Even though, like I said, we always say the end product's not quite there, whether it's Welbeck or whether it's Mopé, whoever, whether it's Trossard, just wrong decisions. I get it. But, I look at Lamptey, unbelievable. I look at Cucurella on the other side. I look at Duffy. I look at Dunk. I look at a lot of their players. I just like them. I just think, you know what I mean? They've just got a team that you like. So, yeah, big up to Brighton. They're doing well. Let's fly through these as we get towards the end. Leeds against Newcastle. Massive, massive win for Newcastle. Richest team in the world. Sum them up quickly and how big that win could be.
Massive win. And they needed that because they've been not winning the games they should. Yeah, you think that Norwich draw at home, Watford draw the other day. Really interesting what they do between now and the end of the window. I think Trippier and Wood were really sensible signings. Even if Wood did come at a premium, who cares? Sensible signing, just get them in. Yeah. I think they'll be. I think they'll be fine. Everyone I speak about, I'm like, they'll be fine. Someone's going down. Yes, I think they'll stay up.
Yeah. Do you think they'll get a couple more in the door as well by time the end of the transfer window and bolster that as well?
Yeah, they will. And actually, looking at it, I think Burnley, Watford, and Norwich will go down.
Yeah. Well, actually, on to Watford next. Really, really bad performance for them against Norwich. Lost 3-0. Dennis gets a red card. It's sort of crumbling. Ranieri's like 1 to 50 to get sacked, which is, if you're not a betting man, that's almost definite. Is there any way that, because what you have got to give credit to Watford for is they're not scared to pull the plug and go again and then get the actual aim that they started out with, which is staying in the league. How do you see that? How do you see that? Do you think they can escape it by getting a new manager in and pulling off a great escape?
I don't think they will. I mean, that Norwich win is emphatic. That is a real, and Dean Smith's doing a good job. You know,
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
they were really poor when I went to see them live, and they were
they were
shocking.
completely written off. Like everyone was saying, well, they'll go down, probably lower than the Derby team that went down.
Yeah, that's what people were saying, and you know that the thing about Norwich is they've got some a little bit like who were we just talking about play good football, but a
Newcastle.
little bit like
Oh,
Brighton.
Brighton.
They've got some good players. I can kind of, I'm like some nice technicians in there, and I can see why a sensible manager just tightens them up a bit. Suddenly, they're a decent outfit. But I think Newcastle's money and might and their match winners like St. Maximan will come through for them. So yeah, good win. But and look, they've won 4 games to Newcastle's 2. But Newcastle, I think, will leapfrog them.
Yeah, I like Watford. I always want them to stay up. Always want them to do well. But I don't know, man. That the turnover is so high, and you know, I look at the direction of their club with the Pozzos and stuff, and how they're penny pinching and not getting the players that the team and the fans know what they need, and they never get it. The type of players that they get, it just never seems to hit the mark. They look like they're penny pinching to me. Obviously, Watford fans will know a lot more about that, and I think people should look at really what goes on at Watford, because I think everyone does the whole they just changed managers, it's all their fault. But there's a reason. There's a reason why, and I think it's not the fans' fault. I mean, I don't think the fans want to keep seeing that. They want some stability as well. But it's crazy what's going on there. I just hope they get a new manager and can stabilize and go again and get their forward players involved more. But it's a defense. I see they just can't defend. So hopefully they stay up, but I'm not too sure. And then one more game actually. Was there one more? Everton Villa. That was it. Everton. Well, let's do Villa real quick. Actually, I mean, Steven Gerrard, a big win for him, going back to there as well. Coutinho playing, Luca Digne going back there. There was a lot on that game, and he nicked it 1-0. What do you make of them, quick?
Good manager. He likes his technicians in midfield. Coutinho, Buendia, McGinn, Jacob Ramsey. He's brought him in. I like what he's doing at Villa.
He's really good, Jacob Ramsey. Yeah,
absolutely. And Everton, they'll stay up, but it will be a season to forget. I mean, it's been disastrous. They need to stop hiring managers that don't really want to be there. Like Carlo Ancelotti, let's be honest. You know, Rafa Benitez, let's be honest. You know, go and just, when they took a chance on Marco Silva, I kind of got that. Martinez, I kind of got that. I think they need to go back to that a little bit. Ronald Koeman, I got that. And I know, a lot of appointments in football don't work, and sometimes you just got to keep trying. But that was a much better model than basically trying to bring these kind of.
Well, they're in such a bad position that, you look at someone like Graham Potter, that would be really good for them.
Yeah.
But they're in a position where they wouldn't even go there. I mean, Frank Lampard, they're in a position where wouldn't even go there. So,
I think Lampard would be a really sensible appointment.
Yeah.
Derby and Chelsea. I know people will argue he basically failed at both, but what I will say, he got them playing really good football. You could see what he was trying to do. And a manager with an identity is a very rare thing. And I actually think he'd do all right there. And it just plays nicely into Villa have Gerrard and Everton have.
Yeah, we want those kind of things going on.
It's just a nice. It makes sense. That fits nicely in my head. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, James, thanks for joining us, man. Big show. Appreciate everyone in the comments getting involved as well. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you lot haven't done so already. James, where can they find you on social media, etc?
Just James AFTV. I've kept it quite boring with the old.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy. So make sure you check out James. And obviously, I'm pretty sure most of you are subscribed to AFTV already. And if you're not, do it, because you're missing out. Because when they lose, it's amazing. When they draw, it's amazing. It's brilliant. You should do it. It's great. But thanks for coming on, guys. We'll be back soon with another video for you guys. The latest Manchester United updates, transfer-wise as well. We are out of it. Peace.